Welcome, everyone, to our first Octavium Town Hall. I believe we are loud and clear. Chat, can we confirm? Are we loud and clear on the microphone? Oh, it's not working? Okay, hold on. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Loud and clear. Are we loud and clear? Yes, we are. Welcome, everyone, to the first Octavian Town Hall. Since I have returned to Octavium, there have been lots of questions in the air. What is going on? Aleczaender is back? How did he do it? And the response I gave everyone every time that I am asked these questions is God did. A couple months ago, I gave a speech where I said that we will eventually win. And it might not be the way people want us to win, but we will eventually win in the end. And when we do win, we are going to credit all of it to God. And that's what I'm doing. All the credit and glory goes to God, because spiritual warfare is more powerful than any physical warfare that we can muster. So you could say it was the Cadons. You could say it was anonymous Zaenderists. You could say it was me. You could say it was a number of factors, but ultimately, we all know that behind the scenes, God is always working miracles to ensure that the good guys win in the end. With that being said, we are going to dive into this town hall. Obviously, we have a lot of people in the audience, 78 people. That is about as many as we rally on Saturdays. We are rallying in a town hall at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon. So we've got a packed audience to get to. But before we get to the chatters, before we get to the audience, I want to just give some background. A lot of you are wondering, when is Madrid launching? How do we get into power? Who gave me the group? What exactly is going on? To which I will answer those questions right off the bat and then dive into the questions. The first question I want to address is, how do we get into power? And I'm going to now kind of talk about what happened exactly, which still is quite shocking. But apparently, a bunch of anonymous Groiper Zaenderists who want to remain anonymous claim that they wanted to give me the group out of goodwill. They still hold on to the group. We have only partial access, so we have not been fully given access to the group yet. But they identify as Zaenderists, they identify as Groipers, as Christian nationalists. So I believe that we can trust them. Because obviously, as it says in the Bible, if God is for us, then who can be against us? But they are great patriots. 07's in chat. W to the Groipers, to the Zaenderists for acquiring ownership of the group. They have done us a massive service, and they are we forever owe them for what they have done. So we hope that there will be a smooth transition of power from the pro-Zaenderist admin to the Zaenderist admin. God willing, that will go successfully and that will go well. And I mean, he just gave over access. I said, well, do you want to be known as a hero? And they're like, well, I'd love to be, but they don't want to get doxxed. They don't want to be attacked by the Cadons or whatever. The Cadons also want some credit. So I want to talk about why George handed over ownership. The reason why George gave ownership was because apparently behind the scenes he was being harassed. He was being, some would even say, doxxed by the Cadons. So he was forced to give up ownership because of the fact that he was getting hit pieces written on him. Within less than 2 days of these hit pieces on George, he collapsed. He gave in to the pressure, he collapsed, and handed over all ownership to our anonymous Zaenderist who paid a good sum for the group. And that's how we acquired ownership of this project. Now, we can never be too sure what's going to happen next. For all we know, Lloydcard could roll back the groups via Roblox moderation. For all we know, anything could happen in these next couple of days. So I know everyone's excited. Everyone is saying we're so back, and this is an enormous, major victory, right? We have gained hundreds of new members in the Zaenderist ranks ever since we've taken over. But you can never be too cocky. So we need to have gratitude. We need to be thankful to those who put us in this position, whether it be the Zaenderists or whether it be other forces that are helping us out. Because obviously they are owed a massive favor for their service to us. But enough yap. Enough yap about gratitude and why we're here. I want to get into the town hall. I want to get into the plan. A lot of you were asking me, when are we launching Madrid? The answer to that question is going to be Saturday. On Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m., if everyone in this voice chat goes into the events tab, you will see there is an event scheduled for Saturday, October 18th at 1 o'clock p.m. So if you are going to attend, make sure you signify attendance. Madrid will be revamped. We will be adding all the divisions, all the paramilitaries. There will be new buildings that will be added to Madrid. We are making massive revamps. We're adding new statues. We are putting in a lot of work. You might have also noticed that we have made new divisions. Unfortunately, our Zaenderist patriots were not able to acquire the old divisions because they didn't want to pay the money for it. As a result of that, we have made new divisions. They are basically almost one-to-one replicas of the original divisions. Those will be launching today. Now, the vast majority of you people in this stage are probably wondering, where's my free rank? Aleczaender, I was general of the army in Octavium under George. Where's my free rank to general? And you're probably saying, I've been loyal this whole time. So here's how this is going to go. I know everyone wants their position in the group, but ultimately, those who remain loyal will be given priority access. They'll be given priority, positioning within our staff. So what is a Zaenderist? What is a loyal Zaenderist? What does that qualify? If you were in the Zaenderist group, if you were in the Orderstate, if you were in the Autonomic Realm, or if you weren't in all three groups, but you were neutral, leaning loyal, then that applies, right? If you retired when I got removed and then recently came back, that's fine. What is an example of someone who doesn't qualify? Okay, you remained in Octavium, unless you're granted an exception for intelligence. You're in Teutonia or was in Teutonia. If you were disloyal until we acquired Octavium, that's you. Now, that doesn't mean that if you were neutral, that you're going to be starting from scratch, right? Obviously, some of you guys, like the Scodels, put in some work. You're going to be given high ranks. You're going to be given your reward for your work. But we need to have loyalists in power. If we don't have loyalists in power, the group cannot run the way it is meant to run. And unfortunately, some of you guys, when I said trust the plan, you weren't there. I don't want to hear that, I trusted the plan, but I just didn't tell anyone I trusted the plan. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. The loyalists joined Zaenderism. They joined the Orderstate. They joined every project that I said to join. No questions asked. If you weren't that guy, then unfortunately you didn't trust the plan. And your consequence is that if you were a general, if you were a marshal, if you were an imperial leader of the Legion, you're getting bumped down a couple of ranks. And if you're lucky, you will get your rank back. If you worked hard and you're lucky, sure. But like I said earlier, anything can happen. The group could get deleted the next day. They're currently mass reporting the group in Teutonia. Anything could happen these next couple of days. So just because we own Octavium doesn't mean that we've won. So we are expecting loyalty. We are expecting everyone to be in lockstep behind the plan. And we will be prioritizing that over everything else. Okay? Maybe I'm going to do a loyalty test. Maybe in the next 4 days, I'm going to pretend like we lost the group and see who's loyal and who's not. I don't know. I don't know yet. Because right now, there are a lot of disloyalists that are pretending to be loyal. So, that's the staffing. That is quite obviously the staffing issue. If you want a position, DM Reynard, DM Patrick, DM Eli, DM someone that is not me. I am not going to free rank you. I will block your ass if you annoy me with wanting a rank in my group. I do not handle staffing. I think there was one more thing. Or is that I think that's the FAQ. I think that's everything. We're launching on Saturday. No one is getting free ranked unless you have veterancy in this group or unless you were loyal or a veteran. And I went over how we got the group. So with that being said, this is a town hall. So I do want to bring up some people. How we're going to do this, because I'm kind of just doing this on the run of the mill, is I'm going to let people ask questions in the chat. So for the next 20 minutes, ask questions in the chat. Do not be scared to ask me anything that's thought-provoking. If you want to talk to me about the courts, about the trial, about the document, about the media video, I'm an open book. You will not offend me by asking me, Aleczaender, did you groom Freya? You know, well, maybe phrase it more respectfully. Don't say that. But like, if you have a question where it's like, Aleczander, is it true that like you own Freya? Is it true? You want to ask me something like that, you can ask me the question, but beware, okay? If you're gonna ask me a question like that and I get defensive, okay, that's on you. That's not on me. So we have some questions in the chat. We're gonna read them. Teach me how to aura farm. It's a natural ability. Comes natural. Will you run for president one day when you get older? Honestly, I don't really consider it right now because considering the fact that like my reputation's kind of screwed right now. I gotta fix my reputation first, and then I can run for president. Maybe if Octavium achieves like 1 million members, then I'll run for president. When you first got Octavium back, what was your first reaction? Were you crying in tears? I was shocked. I said, "There's no way. This has got to be a troll. This has got to be a prank." And I joined the call. No strings attached. They said, "We're giving you the group." They said, "We promise you. We're Zaenderis. We're Groypers. We love Nick Fuentes. We love Aleczander. No strings attached. We're giving you the group." And I'm like, "No strings attached." They're like, "Yep, no strings attached." And I said, "This is too good to be true." And then I asked them. I said, "Well, how'd you get the group?" And they wouldn't tell me. They kept trolling me. "Oh, we paid 6 million Robux for it. Oh, we sold our house for it." They went down the line of pranking me. And I got mad and left the call. I got mad and crashed out and left the call. I literally said, "Okay, if you will tell me how we got the group, then I'm going to crash out and then I'm going to leave." And I literally left the call. I literally said, "I'm done. I'm not going back to." And then they invited me back and they said, okay, we'll tell you how we got it." So I had a bit of an ego trip because it was like I kind of felt disrespected, but you know, if you hand over my group, if you give me back Octavium, then whatever. You can troll me, you can rage bait me, you can do whatever, you know. I might get defensive, but it's whatever. We love the anonymous Zaenderists for what they're doing. But it was annoying. I was very annoyed that they weren't being serious at first, but we love them for that. They have a sense of humor. They have a good sense of humor. So that was my first reaction. And then I was like, okay, let's get to work. So we had maybe like a 20-minute call about, you know, how they got the group, and then we spent like 7 hours rebuilding everything. I said, all right, well, we got the group back. Let's start rebuilding. Divisions back up, uniforms back up, ranks back up, maps getting developed. Immediately we got to work. We've been staying up until 6 in the morning. Big shout out, by the way, to Patrick, Reynard, Jayhawk Rescue, and the anonymous Zaenderis for staying up till 6 in the morning every night to work on this group with me. There's a lot of work to be done, and they've been staying up late with me to make sure of it. Is it true that Cadans are replacing the Zaenderis population? What are you, a retard? They're replacing the Zaenderis population? There's probably 1,000 Zaenderists, right? And there's how many Cadans in Zaenderism and Octavium? Like 10? Which, by the way, I don't endorse any form of doxing or any form of like toxicity. And I know that they're trying to get positions in the group. You might have saw that Vast was ranked Supreme Command. Everyone relax. It's under control. You know, we've done damage control. We've resolved the mass immigration problem coming from Cadinia. So nothing to fear. We've resolved the crisis of mass immigration from Cadinia, and Patriots are back in control. But no, they're not replacing the Zaenderist population. What is the ETA to the completion of the New Madrid? Saturday. Actually, it could be done like today or tomorrow, but we're launching it Saturday. So that's in 3 days. When you first got... No, I read that. What are you going to do with Alihan? I don't know. I'm not in charge of staffing. He'll probably be put as like a general or something. Do I count as a trader? No. I mean, I say no hesitantly because you crashed out. And you can't crash out, you know. Like, I mean, you know, we have some really loyal people in the group. And one of them just crashed out. Not on me, but because their account got disabled. And it's like, you know what, I get it. Like, he's not betraying the group, he's just not motivated, and, so. But anyways, when have you last met Nick Fuentes? I met him not last June, but the June before that June, in December, not December, 2024. I don't know why I said December. And, I don't want to go in detail, but we talked a lot. We actually talked, funnily enough, we talked about Octavium and Roblox. We had to sit down to talk about politics, and we ended up talking about Octavium mainly. And he has a lot of respect. He has a lot of respect for Octavium and what we've done. You know, the whole Groiper crowd loves Octavium. They definitely support what we're doing. More, and for some reason, even more so than my political career. They support Octavium more than they support my political career, which to me is kind of weird. But whatever. Aleczaender has aura, I guess. Can you be less scared / forgiving to ban weird people that'll tarnish the reputation of Octavium? I don't know what that means. Is there plans for Octavium and the Orderstate to coexist? And if not... So the Orderstate is merging into Octavium. Obviously, we'll still have it in reserve in case there is a worst-case scenario. But with how things are going, we probably won't need to use that at all. Out of the two legitimate regimes, who was better, George or Calavos? Calavos, because at least Calavos wasn't a retard. And he wasn't transgender or cross-dresser or whatever. Would you want to lead Octavium IRL? No. I would not. That's why I do Octavium on Roblox and not IRL. Do you attend university? No, I'm graduated. What do you use for your hair? I use hair product, but the product... I'll go grab it real quick, actually.
Stand by. Stand by. Patriots, stand by. As we grab the hair product.
I use Ruzel. Sorry, I didn't know what it was called because it was a gift. I received it from my sister's boyfriend. He got me it. And it works pretty well. I just flick back my hair and put it in, and it works quite well. I have some questions. You should have asked them in the same sentence. I would have read them out. I have some questions. Okay, well, you should have asked them when you had the chance. In a previous announcement, the plan was to make a pre-Octavia group with factions and street battles, but now we have taken back control of Octavium. Are we going to continue Octavium or go with the current plan? So, I talked to the team that's working on Phase 2, also known as pre-Octavia, and they are still working on the map for Phase 2, but they are making a version of that map for Octavium. So they're going to make an Octavian version of the map, and then they're going to turn that version of the map into a Phase 2 map. And then Phase 2 will be postponed unless Octavium ever gets destroyed or deleted. So I guess Phase 2 will just be on postponement so long as we are in power here, essentially. But hopefully, you know, that's a long time, because I am kind of excited for Octavium. But I guess we'll see. Think I could be a great debater one day. Yeah. You're very confident. I mean, you have the balls to confront Leutgard. You're like 13 or 14, and you have the balls to stand up to Leutgard. You know, when I was 13, I kind of rivaled Leutgard too. Actually, I was 14 then, and I did the same thing. I stood up to him, and I mean, I eventually joined his group and everything. He tried to like merge my group into his, and we had some deal. But I mean, you've got some balls on you. You've got some balls on you to do that, because I wouldn't say that I was afraid of him when I was 14, but I mean, I definitely like I took him a lot more seriously than I should have. I was 14. What do you expect? What will happen to traitors that don't surrender? They'll stay against you. We'll fight them. We'll fight them on the streets. We'll fight them in the houses. We'll fight them on the beaches. We'll fight them everywhere. How long do you estimate that the game will be running with 24/7 game activity? Well, we have estimates that predict that we are going to be rallying as many as 200 people on Saturday, which, if true, would be the largest rally in Aleczaenderian, Octavian, Richterist, Zaenderist, Octavian history. So that's very exciting news. Teutonia, on average, rallies about 300 people. So if we rally that many people on Saturday, we would rally 2/3 the number of people that Teutonia have. That's a pretty big deal. There's a lot of people that actually don't like me, that hate me. And they've told me, like, look, I hate you, you have an ego, you're an asshole. But this genre deserves two sides. And for that, I'm happy you got Octavium. A lot of people have told me that. A lot of people have reached out and said, look, you know, I'm not going to name any names, but a lot of people have told me, like, hey, I hate you, I don't like you, but I want you to win. I want you to at least balance it out, because the genre's boring, right? And that's also why the anonymous Zaenderist gave me Octavium. It's because I think they know that if Leutgard had a monopoly on the genre and I didn't have my Octavium Superstate, it would be a monopoly in all these groups like Latium. You know, it'd be harder to thrive, because it would just be Leutgard versus everyone. If there's two different groups fighting each other, there can be groups in between that grow in the process. You know what I mean? So I think that the genre is healthier that way, and that's why a lot of people that don't like me are actually happy for me. I was actually very shocked at the reactions from a lot of my enemies, a lot of my top D1 enemies. You know, it's because I think a lot of people, they don't like me, but they think that at bare minimum I do deserve to have my empire back. And I think that that's fair, you know. I think any good person recognizes, you know, like, I mean, look at Hitler, right? You know, we can recognize, oh, he's evil, 6 million Jews, whatever. And of course, this is widely debated. Was it 6 million? Was it 4 million? I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But he built an empire, right? And I'm not saying that I'm Hitler. People are gonna clip this and say, oh, he's comparing himself to Hitler, right? Or Stalin or Kim Il-sung, right? I'm not comparing myself to Hitler. I could never be Hitler. But it's like they built an empire. And I think a lot of people respect the fact that he built an empire. And frankly, I mean, he built an empire that was better than the Weimar Republic. Would you rather live in the Weimar Republic or Germany in the 1940s, late 30s, you know? That's what it comes down to. And I know, like, that's a really bold thing to do, to compare Octavium to that, but it's true. You know, Octavium under Calavos and George and Leutgard was like Weimar Octavia. Communists were in the streets. A loaf of bread was 10 million. Octamarks. Okay, the people were starving. You know, it was in a depressing era. Now Octavium is is about to embark on a glorious era, a revolution to reclaim what has been lost. And I think a lot of people want to see that come to full fruition. So do I. Even if I'm not going to be the emperor of Octavium, I want to see that happen too. I'm going to scroll through these because there's a lot of people texting. And I want to get to the... I will bring people up. Stay patient. I already said I got it back. It's being given to me by the anonymous Zaenderists. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll. These are like repetitive questions. What's going to be the sense towards Cal and supporters? Indifferent. I don't hate Cal. I mean, obviously, like when he was in power, he kind of slandered me. And he swears up and down. He's like, I didn't call you a pedo. I didn't call you a pedo. I just said that you're weird. And I'm being told that he did call me a pedo. So I don't know. I don't know what's the true story with Cal, though. But what I will say is that, I mean, he was my enemy. He was my opposition. I mean, he was someone who vehemently opposed Zaenderism. But I don't hate the guy, you know, because of the fact that I don't hate anyone, you know. I don't even hate Lloydguard. I wouldn't want the worst thing to happen to my enemies because it's the Christian thing to do. If you're a Christian, you got to be forgiving. And Lloydguard has a huge ego, enormous ego, right? But as a Christian, you got to be forgiving. You have to look past all the stuff that they're saying and doing and realize that he's a sinner just like me, right? There are probably people in this call that feel that way, that say that I have an ego. You know, as a fellow Christian, you have an ego. You don't deserve Octavium. Lloydguard should run Octavium. People that probably think that are in this call, and it's like, well, it's like, you know, I make mistakes. I have an ego, but I have good intent. Genuinely, I have good intent. And I just want an empire for my people. That's all I want. Can I really just give my people an empire for them to run? Right? Can Patrick just be the imperator and run the empire? Like, if you hate me, like, I don't even have to run the empire. Patrick's gonna run the empire. But some people are just gonna hate me. And there's nothing I can do about it. They won't entertain dialogue. They won't get my side of the story. They're just gonna hate, you know? I live rent-free in their head. Nothing I can do about it, I guess. After you were exiled, I defected from Teutonia to Zaenderism and joined the Security Committee in Legionary Guard. Am I still accepted as a loyalist? Yes. If you were never loyal to me before, like if this is your first time ever being loyal to me, that's different. Now, if you were in my group, you swore the Pledge of Loyalty, you signed up for Octavium while I was the Emperor, I got removed, and you remain loyal to the other administration, you're a traitor. Now, if you joined Octavium after I was removed, never heard my side of the story, never heard me speak, never knew me, okay, you're fine. You're not a traitor, you just didn't know better. So that's really the difference between, you know, someone who was a traitor and someone who, you know, saw the light, right? Essentially. I'm going to scroll down some more. May please be brought up to have a conversation. Steadfast to Invicta. Yeah, maybe in a little bit. Will Oswald, Kavara, Colt, or Howard Hughes return? Oswald, no. None of those guys are going to return. Oswald is still around. He just doesn't have the time to be active. As for the other three, absolutely not. Not happening. Before you got Cougar, I'm opening a 4th Battalion of Shock. Yeah, because Shock was rallying like 30 people. Shock was rallying like 30 people so they could open a new battalion. Obviously, if your division is just gotten started, I'm not going to open a new battalion unless you're rallying like 30 people. So, Shock, rally 30 people and you'll get your 4th Battalion. And that goes for every division. If every division does that, then they will receive a 4th Battalion. Thoughts on Franco? Franco's pretty based, but he's also overrated. Franco did what he could to save Spain, but there were better leaders. There were better people that could have succeeded him. There were better people that could have been the leader of Spain, in my opinion. Franco is kind of like the Trump of Spain, in a sense. When will we be merging in the Legion group and military? We already have. If you want a position, then DM Reynard. If you're in the Orderstate or Zaenderism, you want a position to be transferred over, then DM Reynard, DM Cosmic, DM Eli, DM literally anyone but me. Literally anyone but me. And I promise you, if you DM them and they don't help you out, then tell me and I'll kick their ass. He never called... Okay, so Steadfast says, never called you a pedo. He called you weird and a doxer, but never a pedo. He called me a doxer? He openly defended you against the allegations of pedophilia. Really? Well, in that case, then I guess he's not that bad. Then I guess Rare Calavos W in that case. Dare I say that. Cadden, don't kill me. Cadden, if you can hear me, don't kill me. But Rare Calavos W then. You know, Calavos and I got, you know, he didn't like me because I crashed out on him back in November, or maybe it was October, because of the way he was running the courts and the judicial system. And, you know, he demanded an apology and I never gave him one. I think my crash out was valid. I'm not going to say it wasn't valid, and I'm not going to say like he was right, but I wish it didn't go that way. I think we could have had a better, we could have had better closure, but it is what it is. We're all good now. We squashed the beef. Me and Calavos are good now, but you know, in a different world, you know, Calavos would have unbanned the Zaenderists. We would have ran the party, and we would have ran the group basically. As your marshal, I am resigning from Octavium because due to the scumbag Zaenderist returning, and they prioritize loyalty to their leader than actual skill and leadership. They prioritize loyalty over skill and leadership. And we're going to assume that no one is skilled. You know, Patrick, of course, has never won a battle in his life. He's never won a battle in his life. And Reynard doesn't do anything. They prioritize loyalty over skill. You know, who is this retard that's saying this anyway? Is that recently? Did someone post that recently? If you wish me in sync, we'll become strength commander to Tony or commander to Tony. If you want, you may join us. Okay, well, we have qualified people in power. We have super loyal people who are also qualified that are in power. So if you genuinely think that we are putting unskilled people in power just because we're not putting you in power, then you have an ego problem. Frankly, you have an ego problem if you think that. What will happen to all of the Octavian staff which will have to write you an apology? Will they be allowed to stay? Yeah. Nobody's getting removed. I'm just saying that if you want to have your exact rank back, it's unlikely unless it's a vacant position. What will happen to all of the... I already responded to that guy. I'm going to scroll because these are a lot of repeats. Thoughts on Josie Antonio Rumpimo de Rivera? I haven't really looked into him that much, but he might have been a better alternative to Franco. Unironically, he might have been a better alternative to Franco from what I've heard. But I don't know enough to really comment on that or admit that. You remember I told you I watched your documentary and asked you to join and recognized you in the chat, and you laughed all in tears because of you. I'm a loyalist. All right, based. Thank you for your loyalty. What will happen to all of the state? Oh my gosh, dude. Don't repeat your questions. I will read your questions. If I skip it, then repeat it. But some of you guys, like this Reset Von Scoodle guy, no diss, but... Alright, I'm just going to go to the bottom. I'm just going to skip all the questions. How will the mail system return to Discord? It's been dead for 4 months. Urban will take care of that. He's the quartermaster of all my groups. I'm Denya, by the way. Cool. Hi, Denya. How are you so stylish? I was gonna be mean, but I'll be nice. I don't know, I just have style, I guess. I mean, I'm OCD, so I'm a perfectionist, so... And everything that I do and that I wear, it has to look good. It has to look, like, perfect, you know? It has to fit everything, or I won't do it, you know? I'm very OCD like that. So I have high standards for myself. You know? Just the way it is. How many will get unbanned before Saturday after Calvos banned them? Everyone got unbanned. Thoughts on Mussolini? He's alright. Will there be cheese in Madrid? Navy Air Force win? If we rally more than 200 people on Saturday, we'll open a new branch. We'll open Navy Air Force if we rally more than 200 people on Saturday. I'm not even joking. It won't be like immediate, but if we rally 200 people on Saturday, I will open a new branch. With the rebirth of the new Octavium, is there a chance it expedites a possible Aleczaender-led community? No, because Phase 2 is the new community, and I don't want to make another community. I don't want to make two communities when we have Phase 2 in development. As a new young Zaenderist, what would you recommend as next steps within Zaenderism? Read the Zaenderist concept. Read the Zaenderist Struggle by Oswald. If you don't know what those are, it's in the Zaenderist server. Watch the Rise of Aleczaender series. Watch the Root Media video they made on me a year ago in June. Someone get him the link to the Bonastic and the Root Media videos. DM me, and I'll send you the videos for the Bonastic videos and the Root Media videos that he took down. And then join the Academy. Message Blocky Rectirian, Kenji Rectirian, or Josh Rectirian, or Kenji's a Smith. Why did I call him Rectirian? And ask them if they can get you a class for the Academy, so that way you can become an official Zaenderist. All you do is swear an oath, take a class, take a couple tests. You'll probably pass. If you're smart, you'll pass. Forgive me, I'm rather new. I've realized that obviously all of the ranks are kind of out of place, as in the Discord and the Roblox members are different. Are going to announce when these things are announced in these positions again, and also a lot of people interested in positions. We are currently waiting on the anonymous Zaenderists to, if you mean the branch Discord servers, we're still waiting to get those from them. There are also still ranks that are not, so there's a lot of work to be done. I can't do anything right now because I don't have the permissions to fix it. As for the main Discord, we haven't had time to work on the main Discord yet. I'm gonna ignore a lot of these troll questions. How do you maintain a base mustache? I trim it. I try to trim it at least like twice a month. I'll trim my mustache. And I usually, if I have like a little hair sticking out or anything, I like to just trim that. It'll bother me. Okay, we're going to wrap up the text questions, and we're going to bring up people in just a minute. Because I think all the good questions have been asked. When do you think Madrid activity will turn 24/7? Saturday. I think after launch, it'll be 24/7 activity. I think immediately Madrid will blow up on Saturday. Does Lewis have access to the Octurnus account, or does George have it? I heard that George still owns it currently, but that Lloydguard is trying to reobtain access of it for whatever reason. I've heard a lot of intel about Lloydguard trying to find a way to get back at me from people that are in Lloydguard's inner circle. I have people that are close to Lloydguard that have told me he's doing his best to wiggle his way back in, and that he's pissed about what's going on here. But alright, so we're going to bring up some people. I'm done answering the questions in the chat. So if you want to come up, raise your hand. Blocky Rectirian raised his hand. We're going to bring him up.
Hello, hello. Feeling good. It's been a long few months. Ave, Alec.
Hello,
Great
Blocky.
to see you.
Great to see you too,
back
man.
in power.
How's it going?
It's pretty good. I know it's been like a whole 10 hours since the last time we talked.
Yep.
I guess my question is, I know that I think I understand where you plan to go with this, but this is more so for everyone else. Do you plan on actually returning as the Emperor in the LARP sense, or are you going to do similar to what we did with the Orderstate and have Patrick kind of run on the front and you kind of just move to the back and manage things from the back and speak every once in a while?
So yes, that is correct. I do not plan to come back as Emperor. I am going to come back as a Grand Consulman, and Patrick will run the show probably indefinitely. We've had some talks in private, and I'm busy. My life's getting busier. You know, I've got a lot of shit going on. I'm making money. I'm making change. So Patrick is kind of being propped up to lead Octavium, but I'm still going to be... Obviously, I'm not going to retire from Zaenderism or anything anytime soon. You know, unless I needed to, unless it was like a life or death situation or whatever. But no, we are transitioning Patrick to take over and run Octavium. I'll be in the background advising, developing, giving, pitching when I need to, right? I don't really want to constantly pitch it. I'd rather like Patrick completely run it and I can just do something else in the background. But I'll probably be pitching in where I need to until the group is fully on autopilot, and then Patrick can just run with it. He'll probably just have control of everything, and he'll run that until phase 2 is done. And then when phase 2 is done, we'll save that until Octavium is defunct, which with the direction Octavium is going, that might be a long time.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, so I also want to focus on getting Zaenderism to be more stable. The Academy has been dead. I hate to admit this, but the Zander's Academy has just been dead. Josh and Kenji, I really want to diss them, but I don't really have the evidence to suggest that it's their fault. But they need to step up their game. They need to get more Zaenderis in. So my whole job is I'm going to try and focus on that. Get more Zaenderis in the Academy, get people indocked, whatnot. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'll be living my life.
Are we going to go ahead and mandate the Academy again like we did previously before we got removed?
So right now, the mandate is you have to be in the Zaenderis group. We plan to eventually upgrade that to a certain phase of the Academy when the Academy is running. Because right now, the Academy isn't running, the group isn't even running. Nothing is running right now. So it's hard to mandate that because it's a long process. There were people that spent months ranking up in the Academy, trying to rise up the Academy because it was a slow process, getting to attend a class and then passing your tests. So we're not going to do that right now. Months down the road, probably, yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Blocky. Take care, man. God bless. Good luck with your papacy.
Thank you. God bless you too, man. Ave.
Ave. Okay. That was Blocky Rotarian. Great patriot. Future Zaenderis leader. Up-and-coming Zaenderis leader. I see that Philo has his hand raised. I don't think I've ever heard this guy talk before.
You did.
Hey! How's it going, man?
My username was Loyalist Epstein. I'm pretty sure you had me speak.
Yeah. Never heard that before. I don't know who Loyalist Epstein is. Yeah. Who's
A
that?
patriot. A great patriot.
Okay.
Anyway, I have a few questions. Would you ever grow a beard?
I did have a beard at one point. I had a goatee. I got rid of it, though, because I didn't like the look. I thought, I didn't like the look on me. I think the mustache is sufficient.
Okay. This is interesting for me. I want to ask you, where do you see yourself in 10 or 20 years?
10, 20 years? Well, in 10 years, whatever my Roblox project will be, will probably have millions of members and tens of thousands of followers. We'll be holding we'll be having RL events. We'll be having 1,000 people show up to Octapack, to Xander Pack, and I'll be giving RL speeches.
Within Roblox. You're not.
No, that's kind of a joke. That's semi-serious. In 20 years, it would be kind of cool if we still had the Roblox thing or an equivalent thing to Roblox going on, where we had an empire and we were running it and we were all RL friends and shit. But in real life, I don't know, maybe the governor of Michigan, not right-handed Nick, that's too ambitious. I'm in the top upper echelon. I'm in charge of the Groiper youth, the Fuentes youth or something. I've got my mansion, I've got my wife and my 10 kids. I got my 19-year-old trad wife in 20 years, and then we have 10, 12 kids. Hold on, I gotta get the fan running. It's freaking hot because I have it's 60 degrees and I'm hot in this thing. I should have wore short sleeves. That's where I see myself in the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Nick Fuentes interviews and whatever, and I think you should just associate yourself with him. I like him. I think he's the future for American politics.
Yeah.
Because right now, American politics is two choices: Baal or Moloch, right? I think you need a third party. In my country, in Poland, we have a lot of parties, and we don't have the issues of both parties sending trillions to Israel. So I think people are getting tired of this. I think in the future, yeah, you might have a political career. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, I do. I was joking earlier when I said that my reputation was screwed. I do have a political following in real life. I'm just not very active with it right now because I'm busy with sales, you know. We have people that are in positions of power that are loyal to me and whatnot, and they bring me into meetings, and so I still have control and power. I'm just not active because I'm busy with.
Yeah,
making real money.
you said you're busy with stuff, with work, with what are you busy with?
I work in sales.
At like a company or something?
Well,
Or do you sell your own stuff?
a mix of both. I don't want to be too specific because I don't want to get doxxed or dox my work or anything like that.
Yeah, obviously.
So,
You
mix of
should,
both.
I mean, maybe you should do something similar to what Fantas did, the stunt with the pepper spray. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, spray someone with pepper spray. We've already done that before. Those who know,
Wait, really?
there was a guy in real life that we saw at Phoenix when we went to Amfest, and he knew me, he knew who I was, and he was harassing us, kind of, and then Colt stepped up to the plate, confronted him, and they got into a physical altercation, and it was like a 1v2, then it was a 2v2, and they went back and forth, and then they were like close to the edge of the roof because we were on a rooftop, and they're close to the edge. So I think Colt got off him, and then I'll just say
Blew
that,
him off.
yeah, someone
Damn.
no one got thrown off the roof,
That's tough.
but someone got pepper sprayed. Someone got pepper sprayed. I'll just say that much. So
Okay.
all right, well,
Do you plan on having? Wait,
last question.
do you plan on having rallies in the future, in real life?
well, not anytime soon, but we do get a good turnout for our IRL events. We got like a lot of people that are locked in. You know, at Phoenix we might have a little over a dozen people, so it's like eventually I feel like in 5 years' time we might have like 100 people show up to these events. And if we're having like 100 people show
Millions.
up, then it's like, well, not yeah, millions. But if we're having like 100 people show up to the events from Octavium,
Billions, not millions.
even better. Then it's
Yeah.
like, then it's like, you know, I'll do something. I'll do like a rally or an event or something if we have like 100 people show up, because I mean that's kind of cool, having like an IRL event. We get like the Zaenderism polos out and everything, and give them to like our security and
Does that shift on the left say APAC?
APAC.
What does it say?
AFPAC?
The
AF?
shift on the left.
The shirt.
No,
yeah.
no, that's America first. That's
yeah.
America first.
Yeah.
What
this
does it
is
say?
AFPAC. AFPAC 3.
Oh, okay, I thought it was APAC.
No, it said AFPAC, not APAC. All right, Philo, it's great having you on, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Patriot.
Real patriot. Okay, let's get some more questions in the stage. Maybe you spend another 10, 20 minutes, and then we'll try to conclude this. Jenk Steak and 3. Who's this guy? They have a questionable PFP, but, you know, I'm going to take a swing in the dark. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Thank you, sir. It's good.
Good. What's your question?
I have a question about an experience I had here. So I was a Tetonian, I guess, of course. So I came here and I suddenly became EXO because of my experience and my creativity. So I had a question about that.
Okay.
Is there any enforcement about like hiring unexperienced officers?
Sorry.
Well,
Is there any what about
I have no idea what I'm talking. I'm really sorry.
No. I get you're nervous. What? Just rephrase the question.
Can I type it to you later? I can't explain it to you. It's really hard. I'm really sorry, sir.
No, it's okay,
I'm
man.
really sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, I'm really sorry.
Aw.
I'm really, please.
Oh, poor
please.
guy. Poor guy. It's okay, Patriot. It's okay. Just look, text me the
Really
question.
sorry.
Text me the question and I'll read it out loud, okay?
Yeah.
Aw, poor guy. We got nervous. Now I feel bad. I gotta reduce my aura. I gotta do something to like reduce my aura. It's making people stutter on call. I gotta like take my shirt off or something. How do I like destroy my aura right now? State!
Just like,
How do you get here?
yo, man, I just came up, but maybe to destroy your aura, just like try getting up, walking away, then like slip and eat it on the ground or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, what's your question?
Oh, I was wondering about the 30s rendition of Octavium you were saying
Sure.
about earlier.
Like what? Like the aesthetic, or what's gonna happen to it, or what's
Yeah, like yeah, what's the aesthetic? Is it gonna be like the Eternal Octavia? Or is it gonna be like something other than that?
Well, the plan that I had for it was obviously 4 factions. All 4 factions would have different uniforms, right? The militarists, which, according to the canon lore, the militarists win the Civil War, are going to have the green uniforms. They're not going to be the exact uniforms we had in 2020, but we were going to make them look very similar. Same shade and everything. And then we were going to give, I think the communists were going to get brown, the Marxists were going to get khaki, and then the nationalists are going to probably get gray or something. We haven't really thought it out yet, but that's the aesthetic basically. And we want to bring in some new gear, some new helmets, some new hats. We want to bring in the garrison cap. We want to bring back the berets maybe. We want to bring in the Spanish helmet they wore in the 30s. I forget what it was called, but it was the very weird looking one. You know.
Yeah.
So for phase 2, we do have a lot of stuff in mind for that.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the current, and who would be the government of that, or is it just like a civil war where there's no like true government there?
It would be a civil war. There would be a mayor of the city / governor, and there would be a city council / assembly, and it would be actually an in-game role. So it would be like a position that you obtain by winning an election in the game, kind of like how Madrid was in V1, because V1 had a mayor, if you remember, you could run for.
Yeah.
So it would function kind of like that, essentially. But technically there would be no government. The government would be the factions fighting each other, and they'd have their own government, basically.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, thanks for your question,
All right.
State. I'll see you later.
Yes, sir. See.
The mayor of Madrid. Let's bring this guy up. Hey, how's it going?
We're
man?
gonna make Madrid great again. I tell you. Anyway, quick question: is there gonna be more defining things about government? Because I swear I was thrown into this position like a week ago, and they didn't give me no papers, no defining authority. Are we gonna have some stuff like that?
Like a constitution?
Yeah, like a city charter or something like that.
Well, historically, the
'Cause-
mayor of Madrid was never. It was actually a Game Pass role, and the
Yeah,
role of the mayor.
they made an actual position. Yeah,
Yeah.
they made an actual position, and I was thrown into it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's kind of awkward because we never. It's not compatible with our
Yeah,
structure, unfortunately. So, how our group works is there are 2 positions you run for: Premier and Senate, which you would know Senate as Grand Assembly, and that is the only elections we have in the group. The Premier runs the entire group. They are the head of governments, and they effectively run the group. The Senate produces laws that help with the flow of the group, essentially, and that's how the group
So like
kind of runs.
Senate's coming back just like better off than what it was a couple weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Aleczaender is a true American patriot. He's a great man, I tell you, this man. All right, thank you. Peace
You're very
out.
welcome. Peace. All right, that was the mayor of Madrid. Very interesting. Yeah, back in the day, it was a Game Pass role. It's always been a Game Pass historically, so it's weird to see it's like an actual position you can run for or become. And the reason why it's weird to me is because, I mean, what the hell is America gonna do? Like, let's be honest here. Like, what the fudge is America gonna do in Octavio? I'm the mayor of Madrid, and I'm not making fun of what's this guy's name? What's his actual name? Tom. I'm not making fun of Tom when I say this. I'm making fun of the idea of Madrid. I'm the mayor of Madrid. What do you do, mayor of Madrid? Oh, I commission the businesses. You know, I commission the buildings, the business buildings. You know, we're going to build roads here. Like, we already have a department that does that, you know. Enterprise already does that, you know. Developers already do that. But anyway, yeah. No diss on Tom. Just it's not something that we do in our groups. I declare martial law. Actually, unironically, the mayor position, which was a Game Pass in our groups, can declare martial law. Funnily enough, it can declare martial law. So, well, it could, but I think in modern Octavium, you can't do that because that's kind of retarded. The mayor has to declare martial law over the city, and all the legion and army have to listen to him. I think that there would be a civil war part 3 if that ever actually happened. We have Chief Toon. I'm gonna bring this guy up. Chief Toon.
Yo, hi, man. I'm sorry, I'm just spelling MCC4 here, but yo, Alec, we speak Hawaiian 2 months ago. Do you remember? I'm in Spanish, by the way.
I spoke to you 2 months ago.
You like? Yeah, in Spanish Empire, EAE.
Oh yeah. I was in that voice chat with you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you.
I was there. Yeah. It's good to see you actually. Here's the question. How about the relations, like the allies, all this diplomatic thing? How it will be going in Octavium? Like, you know, how will we be going out of this embassy? You know.
Patrick, did you hear what he just said?
Come again?
Okay, I repeat. What will do in diplomatic and alliances?
What will you do
Wait.
with diplomacy and alliances?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Patrick speaks Spanish, by the way, so you could have said it in Spanish.
Bueno, pero decime, tío.
No,
You know, esta cosa de las alianzas, decirle, porfa. I'm sorry for my bad English, man. I didn't think like you will send me to the.
yeah,
DC,
we have
man.
a
I was just
translator.
screaming.
We have a translator in the call just for you because we knew you'd arrive. Okay.
You can
so,
talk to me in
man.
Spanish and I'll
Thanks,
translate
man.
back. Yeah, go for it.
Thanks, man.
Well, you know what? Speaking of Patrick, Patrick is going to be the emperor, so that's more so a question for him than it is me. Patrick, what is your view on EAE? What is your plan with diplomacy? What's gonna be your foreign policy? I guess.
Look, to be honest, I've heard a lot of good things about EAE. I mean, I've heard that they're Zaenderist patriots who have supported us through and through. And I think an alliance is in order to allow our Zaenderist brother-in-arms to really prosper and get rid of the enemy at the gates, whether that be in South America or in Europe. So stand down and stand by, and we'll reach out to you very soon.
All right.
Did you have any
So
other
it
questions?
was- no. It was just that. So yeah, thanks, man. Yo, Alec, like I'm gonna say to you this personally. God bless you, man. I hope you're doing a great work. I just send you a DM to. Here in EIE, we support you so much. We even get Seekers gift, all of that, man. We support you. We love you, man.
We love you too.
God bless you, man.
We love EAE. They
Yeah,
are
thanks,
great
man.
patriots. They are the greatest allies we've ever had in Zaenderism, let me tell you, okay? We love EAE. Our Spanish brothers in arms, okay? Viva EAE, Viva España. You will forever be
Thanks,
in
man.
our hearts, my friend. Take care. God bless.
Amen, man. God bless you.
Thank you. I'm going to put him down now. I love EAE. Those guys are the most wholesome people on the platform. They are honest, good people. Wholesome, respect. You know, there's no other people like them aside from my people. You know, if I had to choose a group to join, it was like any group in the whole genre. I would join EAE outside of my groups. If it could be my groups. Any other group in the genre, I would choose EAE every time. You know, I would learn Spanish to be alongside them because they are patriots, okay? They stood alongside me every step of the way. When I got trialed, they betrayed stalemated for me. They said, this is bullshit. He is innocent. Aleczaender has aura. I freaking love EAE, dude. They will honestly go down as heroes in the whole Zaenderist epoch. Hey, Darth, what's your question?
Okay, so my question is, how do you plan to integrate the previous iterations of Octavium into the new one? The people itself.
What do you mean by integration? Like the culture?
I mean, as we both know, the culture was very different. The group changed a lot under Calvas and Jorge. Those people haven't known you. And how do you plan to bring them in so they feel welcomed into your Octavium?
How do they make them feel welcomed? Well, I mean, right now we're doing a town hall, and any questions they have are answered. I think the comfort is the fact that I'm open. I'm an open book. Anyone can DM me. Anyone can talk to me. You know, I'm so active with my community that people complain about it. They say, why are you engaging with people that are so beneath you? And it's because I care. As for the culture, integrating the culture, I think that they're going to like it here. There isn't that much of a difference between Octavium, other than the fact that we are going to have way better values. We're not going to have scandals where we have transgenders running around raping dogs or whatever the hell was going on before. We are going to praise God. We are going to praise Jesus Christ as King. As a matter of fact, just reminded me, or it's reminded myself actually, I want to end this stage in prayer to signify the Christianizing of this Imperium. They will come to find out that Zaenderism is power. Sure. I mean, some people that were under Calavos and George were taught that it is not leaders that make empires, but the people that make empires. But what they fail to understand is that the people within every empire is an instrument. Of course you need instruments in a band, for instance, to have music. But Beethoven's music would not be Beethoven's music without Beethoven. And Wagner's music would not be Wagner's music without Wagner. And the Beatles would not be the Beatles without the Beatles. And every artist, okay, their art was created, envisioned by the artist. Octavium without its artist, Octavium without its architect, cannot be the Octavium that it was destined to be since it was founded. You see all these roles, these channels, the flag, the very flag that sits behind me, the aesthetic. Where did it all originate? It originated here.
So you're saying you have a vision for Octavium?
You're missing the point. It's not just about the vision. Octavium is Aleczaender. Aleczander is Octavium. Okay? Who created that flag?
Did?
Who?
You did. You created Octavium. You created the idea of it.
The idea. Who created the uniforms, the maps, the music, the roles, the channels, every aspect of it. The people are an instrument to empower that vision. And that is the people's role in a society. That is the people's role in civilization. You see, it's not the people, okay, that made the channels and envisioned the channels and envisioned the uniforms and envisioned everything. It was me. The people were the instrument to that, to ensure its existence. Therefore, not just in theory, but in practice, it cannot exist. It cannot continue without the artist, at the very least, being involved to make corrections where corrections are due. That is Octavium. The sooner that
Makes a
the
lot of
people
sense.
under George and Calvos understand that, the better. They say that I brainwash people into believing that. But on the contrary, they were being brainwashed into believing that that Leukard was the one that created this. When the reality is that Leukard was nowhere to be found. At most, Leukard offered us funding, and he offered us developers, of which at least 95% of our development was from Octavian devs. Funded, paid for, hired by me. Not Leukard. So.
And one last question. How
Sure.
do you plan to deal with the traitors?
Again, unless there are traitors in our midst, everyone is forgiven if they are actively still in treason against me, whether it be slander, whether it be opposition for whatever reason, will be dealt with by a removal. They are free to challenge with the debate in their last minutes and hours in this server. If they are lucky, they'll be given a 1 week timeout if I believe that they're just misled and being retarded. But for the most part, they are to be eliminated, destroyed, executed. We have no place for them in our society because they are essentially a sickness. You play any sports, Darth?
Yeah, I do.
This is a team effort. When the team is moving forward in a game of tug-of-pull, all it takes is one person to doubt the future, to object to the vision of winning that battle, and it all collapses. That
So
is
no
why.
weaklings.
That is why we believe in total loyalty and total unity, regardless of anything. If I am to magically lose my position right now, what would be more powerful? Half follow me and half stay here, or everyone follows me to the next project?
Everyone follows you to the next project, obviously.
Bingo.
I get it. That was my last question. Thank you for giving me the time to ask them.
You're very welcome. Thanks for asking your question, and I hope you learned quite a few things from our conversation. It's currently 5:09. We've been at this for an hour and 13 minutes. We're going to probably do another 10 or so minutes, and then we're going to wrap this up. So let's just try to make this quicker. Ozzy. Let's bring Ozzy up. Hello. Wait.
Okay,
What?
we're back.
Ozzy, is that you and your PFP?
It's not him.
No!
It's too skinny. Too skinny to be him.
He's too white.
That too. That too. What's your question?
Patrick, I have a really important question for you. Early bird chicken or breakfast?
Oh my gosh. Early bird chicken. Thank you.
Alright, have a good day.
You too. Patriot.
Hamburger or hot dog? If I join Zaenderism in 20th of July, is it late or early? John White says both. Yeah. Both. What he said. We now have Ace Wace stepping up to the plate, also known as Philip Falco.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going alright. I just have one question. Will the Xanderus forces be merging into Octavium?
Yeah. What do you mean by merge? Like joining it, or?
Yeah, like the units, like the Grind Armory and the Guards join into the Octavian ones.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Ave.
Ave, you're very welcome. I think it's kind of odd. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's kind of obvious that there's a merge. But I appreciate the question. If anyone was not sure whether the Zaenderists are joining Octavium, yes, the Zaenderists. Yes, the Zaenderists are joining Octavium.
Alec, are we joining Octavium?
Aleczaender.
Alec, are we merging?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Patriot, thank you, Patriot.
Yeah,
I was 7.
Thank you, Patriot. We appreciate the question. All right, we'll take. Let's do 2 more questions. Let's do Steadfast to Invicta.
Finally, I've been waiting for this. What's up, Alec? How's it going?
Hey, not very much, man. Just having some fun running the town hall.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of questions if you don't mind. First things first. Now that you've reclaimed Octavium, what is going to happen with your other states? Like, I know you mentioned the Orderstate is going to be merging, but like, what about Alemannia? I was curious about that.
So Automanica is merging into Octavium as well. Casimir has been given a position as a general in the army. He'll be leading, maybe even overseeing Division Teutonia volunteers. All of his members will be given a high rank in there for their loyalty to me while serving the Alemannic realm. The reason why we're merging that group is because there is no need for it. We have officially won the Octavian Civil War. There is no need for side projects. Octavium is pretty much now the main project, so every Zaenderist is commanded to give Octavium its all, at least until, in any event, we lose Octavium, which, as I keep saying, is hopefully not for a very, very, very long time. So yes, we'll be merging Alemannic realm, which I'm very happy about because I'm so sorry what I'm about to say. I'm so terribly sorry. Not. But Alemannic realm, managing that group and all the uniforms and all the ranks and every day that group had something going on. It reminds me of Richterist Prussia in 2020, in 2021 too. That group's just full of just like chaos. It's just the organization of it and whatnot. I can't deal with it. I can't bear it that much longer, man. So I'm very happy that they're merging that group. And the Orderstate's being merged. And Zaenderism is being merged, although Zaenderism is a separate entity in itself that can coexist with Octavium. So when we say we're merging it, we don't mean that it's being like annexed, like Orderstate's being annexed and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right. And I just have like one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You probably do know, but Angelo's community, Legatum Posse, I was wondering what your opinion would be on that, and if you would ever consider joining that as like a nation state, because in case you don't know, George kind of fucked us over with the whole Calavos thing, and he ended up getting kicked out of it. So I was just wondering your stance on that.
No, we're part of Arbor 2. I'm the consul of Arbor 2. Obviously, Arbor 2 will remain our priority because we have such an influence over it. And as I've told Angelo, I told Angelo, put your ego aside and just merge everything because we're stronger that way, right? You're a right-winger, I'm a right-winger. We believe in the same stuff. We're on the same side. We both don't like Lloydguard. Why are you in your own corner? So someone's going to tell Angelo to set the ego aside and merge and just, be part of Zaenderism again because we don't need more groups. We don't need more groups. We need less groups. Consolidation into Octavium, into Zaenderism. So, I don't know what he's doing. I think that he wants to be a dictator, but I don't think he realizes that that's not possible right now. We don't have time to do dictator LARP. We have to rebuild. We have to build a opposition to Lloydguard. Okay. So, I hope that he takes my advice. But, I'm not going to be the one to convince him. Someone's got to tell him that. Someone's got to get in his ear and tell him, hey, Angelo, I know you want to be Stalin for a week, but we need you to lock in and help the anti-Lloydguardist cause, merge everything into Octavium, merge everything into Zaenderism, just lock in. Take the pledge and swear to serve, kill, and die for Aleczander. But I guess time will tell if he does that.
Right, and I share sort of that like same thing, but like you're Christian, I'm Christian, you're a right-wing groiper, I'm a right-wing groiper. I know in the past we've had our differences, and I know I've actively gone against Zaenderism multiple times in the past, even trying to poach members from your group, and I want to apologize for that. That was uncalled for. But really, like all I wanted to say is we've had our differences, but I still think the best thing for Octavium is your comeback, and I really hope to see Octavium grow and thrive under your rule. And this isn't me asking for a free rank. I don't care about my rank in Octavium. I'm still gonna be here, obviously, but I just, the late May, early June Octavium was the best part of Octavium, and to even have this thought of it coming back is really pleasing. So I really wish you all the best. Ave Christus Rex, Ave Octavium. You have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, there's no beef, Denya. It doesn't make any sense because there are gripers who like Light Guard, or there was. And these are not like high value Christian nationalist gripers. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say Denya is like a ride or die for Nick guy. He just likes Nick. So when I say there's gripers that like Light, I mean people that started watching Nick like 2 months ago. It's really alarming that people that like Nick fail to realize that Nick supports my side. Like, I mean, even without knowing that I've had dinner with Nick, even without knowing that Nick has gone on a show and said, like, I support Aleczander and Octavium, because he did. I have the clip. He got super chatted and he announced support. Even without knowing those things, like, seriously, like, if you're a griper and you like Light Guard, like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, he's a militant atheist homosexual. He's literally like the Milo Yiannopoulos of freaking our World War II, and you support this guy? All right. We're going to bring up our last candidate. People are saying to bring up Will. The masses want Will. And you know what? I agree. I was going to bring him up regardless. It's either him or El Ronan, okay? It's either him or El Ronan, and, the masses, I'm sorry, El Ronan, but the masses want Will. The masses want Will. Do both.
Alec, do you believe that the Crusades were justified?
110%, yes.
Let's fucking go!
Alright. And we're about to bring them back. We're about to bring them back. We're going to Israel. And when I say we're going to Israel, okay, we're going to make Jerusalem a nuclear crater. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. We're not going to nuke Israel. We're not going to nuke Jerusalem. Okay. Do we want to hear El Ronan? One last guy? One last person? We're going to bring up El Ronan? We're at 1 hour and 23 minutes. We're killing the viewership. All right. El Ronan will save the content. All right, El Ronan. You're the last.
Oh, Aleczander. Yeah, so basically, if you want to know, tell everyone, I was the former head of the Octavian Alpine, which I think Aleczander never wanted to join because, well, it was kind of, weird. Second of all, I'm actually a developer for Blade and Axe Dominations, and the reason why I'm up here today because I also want to show y'all apparently something I've also been working for Aleczander prior to him being removed from Octavium, which will be this big ass city I built for him. Another one, and I would like to also mention is the fact I'm also a brigadier general in Aldemania, which I heard, if I'm correct, Aleczander will be putting it into Octavium as of late. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed off about that thing. And also, Aleczander, you mentioned back in the whole town hall meeting with all WW2, you mentioned about the incident that occurred. The one that I actually ended up confessing to here in the server, right?
Mm-hmm. What's your question?
So my question is, will will Octavium be allied with minor groups such as? Actually, my question would be, despite Octavium and Zaenderism, will you join up in other RP groups such as Yolgu or Eastern Warfare? As of saying this, like.
Yeah.
When I see that, that means you're.
Yeah, that. All right. Thank you all for. That's our last question for tonight. That's the last question for tonight. Thank you all for coming to this town hall. We will not be joining Yalgoon. We will not be joining the RP game Yalgoon with Al Ronan. We will be logging off for the night. That's enough for me today. That's enough. Our World War II Roblox content for me today, I think. Wow. Holy shit. We love El Ronan. We love El Ronan. We love El Ronan. Alright. You say that 3 times, and he'll go away. He'll disappear. So thank you all for coming out, though. Seriously, though. Thank you all for coming out. We've got big plans. We're working tirelessly to put Octavium first, to restore God to Octavium, to restore Christendom to our newly acquired Imperium. So we've got some big things planned. The best is yet to come. I am so excited. I think that you all are too. And let's kick some ass. On Saturday, we've got a big rally. Our bi-weekly rally is Saturday at 3 p.m. I think it's at 3 p.m., as it always has been. So we will see all of you there at our bi-weekly rally. We are excited for the future of Octavium. I think that the best truly is yet to come, despite our obstacles, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet. There's more to come. There's more struggle to come, more wars to come. So don't relax just yet. Strap in your seatbelts, grab your rifles. Let's go to war. Kick some ass. Let's reclaim Octavium from the Teutonian Yellow Menace. Let's reclaim France from our opposition and liberate our people for once and for all. And peace will be restored to the genre. So, that being said, Ave Octavium, Ave Aleczaender, and Ave Christus Rex. God bless you all, and good night. Before we go, let's do a quick prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from battle. Amen. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. O Prince of Heavenly Hosts, cast in hell Satan, and all the other evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Heavenly Father, protect our Imperium, protect our people, lead us, guide us to victory, and fill our people with the Holy Spirit. And then the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you all, God bless you all, and good night.